Welcome to another episode of Spill the Tea. Today I'm here with
Right, George.
And we are going to be talking about, can men and women be friends, and also can they be friends after they're in serious committed relationships / marriages. So being a female that has lots of guy friends, on my part I'll say yes, men and women can be just friends, because I feel when it comes to females, we can be friends with guys without thinking of any involvement or attachment. But what I will say is I've heard guys say that they are normally friends with girls because they're attractive, and it's somebody that they think, okay, if this person wants to be naked in front of me, I would get in bed with her. But women, we don't think like that. I mean, or at least I don't think like that when it comes to my guy friends. But then again, I'll throw it to you. Do you believe men and women can just be friends?
I mean, you should be able to be friends with a female or someone of the opposite sex. Just like you. I mean, we're friends, but I think again, you have to have that platonic relationship with that person, and there has to be respect as well. Like if someone says, oh, I would, if my friend was naked and I would try to have sex with them, then that means that you're also looking at your friend, in a different way. Whereas if you have that serious platonic relationship with that person, you're not going to be thinking like that. I have a lot of female friends. I don't look at them in any sexual way. And I like to think that, and actually I believe and I know for sure that if I was in a situation like that, I would not feel like I have to sleep with them just because they're females or just because they're naked in front of me. And I think boundaries, respect, and having a proper understanding of the type of relationship you have with that person really plays a role, because if you don't have that, then that's where, sometimes you cross line, right? I think for me, I don't know about you, but a lot of times, when I'm in a relationship, if I'm dating someone, they will say, you have too many female friends. And I'll say, yeah, I do, but it's a very platonic relationship. And I think my female friends are very comfortable with me. I like to believe anyway. So for me personally, I think that that is something that it goes from person to person. And if you're looking at your female friend in any different way, then, maybe you're interested in them rather than your partner.
But I feel so even from beginning of a friendship, most of the time when guys meet girls, we know men are physical creatures. You guys see the physical rather than anything else. And sometimes you might see the person and be like, okay, maybe she's attractive or whatever. If you try talking to her, she might curve you. And then after, because females sometimes we like to curve people and put them in the friend zone, even though initially when they stepped to you, it was on I want to be with this person. Because I will say majority of some of the friends I have, or some guy friends I have, it was when they first met me, was like, oh, I think you're pretty, or I want to be with you or whatever. But then I'm like, I'm not interested, and then we move on from that to friendship.
Yeah, that happens. I'll be honest, some of my female friends, I became friends with them because I thought they were pretty. It happens. but again, like I said, you can that physical attraction is there. You can, women will sometimes be friends with another female because maybe they think the girl's pretty. You're a pretty girl. Oh, I love the way you put yourself together, and they become friends. And men, obviously now, I don't want to sound like I'm homophobic or anything like that, but a lot of or homosexual. But a lot of times, a guy will become friends with another man, maybe not through a physical attraction, but something that person presented that attracted them to that individual. So, i.e., it could be dressing, or it may, work in a certain place. Hey, can we connect? Attraction comes in different forms, right? And I know normally for the opposite sex, it usually starts with a physical, but it's not always true. I mean, some of my friends that I'm friends with that are female, it wasn't off the bat because I was attracted to them physically. It was because maybe we hung out or we had a conversation, and I thought, they're very, very intelligent, or intellectual, or we just vibed and it was just really, really cool. And I'm like, this is someone I could see myself being friends with. And till today, I have female friends I've been friends with for 2 decades. We never crossed the line. I mean, growing up, we used to go on trips and we'd all be staying in the same room. And I don't ever recall myself or any, in our group, anybody crossing the line, because, we were very comfortable around each other. And I think it all depends on the type of relationship you develop with a person. But it's true, yeah. A lot of times when you meet someone, especially of the opposite sex, it usually starts off physically, and then, sometimes too, if you have respect for one another, and you respect yourself as an individual, you can be physically attracted to somebody, and then you get to know it, and then you realize, okay, I respect this person well enough to not be selfish and put them through a process that I know myself I won't be able to, fulfill whatever they require or whatever they need, right? So I think it's really person to person, but yeah.
That's true. So the next question then I would ask you is, if you were, or I wouldn't even say if, in your past relationships, have you had girlfriends that were jealous of friends that you had that were female?
Yeah,
And,
many
okay,
times.
where
Even
did-
in my current one, like I get told, "Oh, you have too many girlfriends, right? You know too many females, right?"
Okay, and where do you think that stems from?
I think it's human. Not to say it's necessarily just jealousy. I think even for me as a man, if my girl had too many male friends, it would be a bit alarming. Like I would ask some questions, right? Like how is it that you're friends with all these guys? Do they all see you in a platonic way? Like like these things will ring in my mind.
But then, okay, sorry, I might not have let you finish, but I don't want to lose my train of thought. Why is it that if a female has a lot of guy friends, you will question why does she have so many guy friends?
Right, that's what I was about. I was about to say, it's the same way. If the tables were flipped, that I can understand why she would have some concerns as to why I may have too many female friends. I think it's only fair, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the same way I would be concerned about the fact that and as a man, I know why. Like especially if I'm with someone that I think is beautiful and attractive, and she has a lot of guy friends, it cannot be just me that thinks she's attractive. Like what I'm saying? Like I start asking questions. I'm like, there's got to be a few folks in her circle that think she's also attractive, right? And I think it's the same for her. Like if she finds me attractive and she thinks that I'm handsome, for example, and I'm around, let's say, a lot of females because these are my friends, then she'll have the same concerns, and I think it's only fair, right?
Okay, I mean, all right. I don't know if I'm all the way with you on that, but hey,
why is that? I mean, why don't you agree? Like why?
Because I feel like, again, and I'm speaking only from a female's point of view, we can have a friend that we see to be like, you know what, I look at him in a way where there's no physical attraction. Like I don't even care for him
off the
whatsoever.
bat, just like that. You're just like, no, I'm not attracted to you.
Yeah, off the bat, yes. And even after you get to know them, you start seeing them in a different light. And then it's like, as a friend, it's like, I don't even see to cross you into anything else because all I have you as is a friend. So although for me, in previous relationships, yes, I've had also concerns where the guy's like, yeah, why do you have so many guy friends and stuff? But I have them because it's like, they're people that have shown me they're loyal. They're there for me. Anything I need, they'll be there. I can call them stranded in the middle of the night and like, they'll come to me. Like they'll come to me.
But why can't a man have the same relationship with a female?
They absolutely can. Like you said, it's all about the respect thing and basically how you make your partner feel.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if a person that you're with has any insecurities or jealousy or whatever, it's either how you behave or how you behave with your friends in front of that person. That'll make them start thinking like, oh.
Right, because obviously that would raise some suspicions, of course. I mean, that makes sense. But, I mean, okay, so what if, like, because women, and I don't want to say all women because it's not true, most women, they would, it's not usually, sometimes, maybe not most, maybe some women, sometimes they could be like, I don't care about looks. Like a woman would blatantly say, like, I don't care about looks. I care about how maybe a man treats me, or because and also like maybe something about the guy, like maybe he's intelligent. So women tend to be sapiosexual, whereas men, it's like for us to get there is like, yo, like you gotta look like have a certain physical attributes, and I have to see and be like, all right, so like she's amazing and she looks great, and then kind of jump over that surface level and then go into the deeper level. Whereas women, not to say they're always going on a deeper level. There are some women that do things from a surface level, whatever. But there has been situations where some men have been around a woman, and I know this, and at first they were not attracted to her because they thought, okay, physically this person is just not for me. And then they get to know the person and then see their qualities, and then they start falling for them, and it happens. But I just know, for me as a man, and then based on the conversation I may have with my boys, a lot of us is just off the jump, like physically, then but I still don't think that even if I was once attracted to someone, that I would always be attracted to them. The same way you could be in love with someone in a relationship, you're dating, and it could end and you're like, I am never putting myself in that position again. Like I'm never doing anything with this person because the attraction is completely gone. Mm-hmm. Right, so you don't necessarily have to, I guess, date them before you can get there. You can, you can actually, date someone. I mean, be around someone, and off the bat, like at first you were attracted to them, and then you're like, oh, actually, I think you're dope. I don't think we will work in terms of dating, but friendship wise will work, and again, if you're a man or woman and you have respect for yourself and the person or the people that you deal with, you'll be all right, like you wouldn't cross the line. But going back to what you were saying before, making your partner feel comfortable, I think it's really based on the individual. Like if your partner comes to you and say, look, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with your relationship with, I don't know, Jane, for example, you have to now show her, like, look, this is strictly platonic, right? And sometimes it's hard, right? But then again as well, it also questions the level of trust you may have in your relationship as well. Because not to say that your person having some concerns is a problem, but you have to be able to build enough trust for your partner to also trust that, all right, I can take your word for it, and what you're saying to me in terms of your relationship with this person is true. Imagine if, saying like, I don't have enough, like we don't have enough trust in a relationship, but then, you're telling me, no, like, like there's nothing going on between me and this person. It's going to be hard for me to believe you, right?
I feel sometimes with females, we have a tendency of oversharing things with men that sometimes can become a bit of an issue, because I know...
When you say oversharing, what do you mean? Like,
okay, for instance, maybe like we're friends, and maybe I have a boyfriend or whatever the case is, but maybe you might have made a comment to me one day, or you might have said something to me, and then from there I'm like, oh, I went back and mentioned it to my boyfriend, and then now my boyfriend will see you and start looking at you some type of way.
Yeah, but what could the man, like, what could I have said to you that would make you go and say whatever to your partner, and then for them to start looking at me a certain way?
Because sometimes maybe you might be joking with a person, and then after, some people, like we say, everybody's comfort level is different. Everybody is different when it comes down to it, and I feel it also bases on your security level. Because for instance, if I have a man and he has a lot of girlfriends, and if this man off the bat is like straight out there dog cheating and stuff, like, I don't trust any of them are your friends. You do more than that. So automatically I'll be like, no, I don't want you being like, I don't want you having these female friends, because you've shown, or you have a habit of like maybe tell, oh, I slept with that one, but she's my friend. No.
I don't
think so.
Yeah, no, like... The likelihood of someone sleeping with someone they have history with and they're just friends with is high. However, it doesn't mean that they would, necessarily be sleeping together. Now, if you're dating someone that is known for cheating and they got a lot of female friends and you question that, absolutely. I mean, this is someone that is known for cheating, but it also says a lot about you as well. Because if he's cheating on you consistently and he has a lot of female friends, and you're questioning the fact that he has female friends, you should be questioning the fact that you're in a relationship. Because you know what I'm trying to say, like, you got to deal with the trust in your relationship first. Now, that being said, I still don't see how that negate, having friends with and that are the opposite sex, because, if you can't solve what's in your, like for example, if you go and, you start blaming the females, or you get upset with them, like, hello, what have they did? Like, it's not their problem. It's not their fault. Like, the issue should be with your partner, not with the person that you're involved with, because it has nothing to do with them.
Have you ever had an ex ask you not to talk to one of your girlfriends?
Oh yeah, it's happened many times.
And what did you say?
I said, well, before you came, they were here.
And you probably might be here afterwards.
Exactly. You know what I mean? However, the concerns did not go on deaf ears. Like, I kind of drew back a little bit just to not make them feel uncomfortable. I also, made sure there was a line. Because if you want me to stop talking to my friend, you have to really have, valid reason. Like, you can't just say, well, I don't like your friend, so don't talk to them.
Okay, so that ex, what was the reason why she didn't want you talking to her?
She just was just not comfortable. I think she was just not comfortable with every female. Her thing was that I knew off the jump, she was, oh, you have too many female friends. And I was just like, yeah, because some of these people I grew up with, like, we become like family. And but I also realized that she also had her own little insecurities that she was dealing with. Now, as your partner, I can't ignore that, because I have to now help you kind of adjust, so helping her come to a better understanding of what's happening, and to better deal with it. It's is better. However, if you are just making me stop being friends with my friends because you're insecure, then that's an issue, right? So that being said,
well, I feel when it comes to females asking their partners to don't talk to this person, don't talk to that person, you're basically just finding a temporary solution to like a problem. Because let's say like people that smoke, you know, you met this person, they smoke, and that's what they've been doing, and now you're telling them stop, and because they like you, they want to be with you, they'll stop for the time being. But the minute you're not in the picture or you do something, it reverts back to, oh, due to you, that's why I stopped doing this. So even though your ex was asking you, oh, you have too many girlfriends, or stop talking to this person, if you and this person didn't work out, will you now go back and talk to that person again, or will you now just be like, oh, you know what, I stopped talking to you because of the person I was with?
Yeah,